Here we are, hitting up events, drinking our way through Chicago beer, and trying not to miss a thing.
Yeah, because, the cork popped out, boom, it flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it.
All you have to do is add some fruit, stir it up, and ride that milk-shaped wave.
Whenever I see him, I gotta take a photo with the most decorated brewer in Chicago, Jonathan Cutler.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. You ever go to every time you go to Floyd's, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Sometimes you want a small beer, but really, you want a big beer.
You gotta take in all those big aromatic hops.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Waiting in line for a bottle release?
You should have never been a fad. The black IPA is delicious.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski,
Brad, what's up, man? I'm Nik White.
and we're going to Lager Town.
Goddamn right we are,
It's
Brad.
like Flavor Town, but more malty.
Half Acre Brewing, man. This is always an Oktoberfest you can believe in from the boys at Half Acre. Very busy artwork here. This is our Oktoberfest, and it is hard to see what the ABV is what it is.
But last year, 5.8%, we left them off our list, our lineup.
Really?
We didn't have a can. We didn't put them in there. We mentioned them a couple times, but they weren't in our recap of Oktoberfest.
There is a soldier from medieval times on this can. There is an owl
From the restaurant?
and there's a pig. Don't they look like they're from the restaurant? He's wearing the fucking what do you call that metal thing around your head?
The armor?
No, around the head. The goddamn. It's
Yeah, the chain link stuff.
the chain link stuff. There's a name for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I forget. But yeah. This is a busy ass can.
Right. Lagertown's been around for a long time. I feel like I remember having Lagertown at the Heather's event.
Oh, Festival.
Yeah. And they had Lagertown there.
Chainmail. Isn't that it?
Chainmail, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I remember Lagertown being there and drinking it there. So.
There's daisies on this can. The bottom of the date code has a neat little message. Mine says you can call me Al. What does yours say?
So is mine.
Okay.
Packaged a little over a month ago, but we got our wooden mugs.
Wooden mugs are nice.
Second one from the season. On the last episode, we did Spiteful's Oktoberfest. So our Oktoberfest will live here until we're ready to do them all.
I say that about neck and neck. I actually might give Spiteful the edge.
I think so.
Yeah. Spiteful was nice.
Spiteful's was a little more, I feel like, classic or, I don't know, in line with what you think of Oktoberfest. I think Half Acre's maybe a little sweeter.
I think that one, the Spiteful Oktoberfest, was right at the edge of malt flavor, the extreme edge of it's not too malty, but it's a very nice interpretation. Yeah.
But yeah, all right, we're gonna knock these back and talk about a few things we hit up. I was drinking some other Oktoberfest, which we'll probably drink on the next episode. From not Spiteful, that's Spiteful in my head. Sketchbook.
Evanston, Illinois. Hello.
Yeah.
Skokie as well.
Yeah, I went to the Evanston one this time. I
Okay.
usually go to Skokie because easy to bike there. It's right off the bike path, but this time
It's much bigger too.
I was driving and we were getting burgers. We went to the as we talk burgers and beer, we went to the Bop and Grill.
That's kind of our thing now. Is Bop and Grill on Sheridan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is like a Korean burger place.
I feel like I've made a visit to the Bop and Grill,
And then we went to Sketchbook, and then we went to Beard and Belly.
which is Edgewater,
Yeah.
coming back south, also on Sheridan.
Right.
Beard and Belly's not bad. I like the fries.
Beard and Belly, he got some legit Oktoberfesty things going on right now with the food and the beer. You can do liters of stuff.
Yeah.
Really good food. I think I'm going to go back because I tried the burger and the pickled egg.
Okay.
You see in movies at the bars where people could grab
It's like a clear jar of eggs.
Yeah, they didn't have that, but that's what a pickled egg is, right? And so I never had one, and to have a good one, I guess. It was nice.
I ranked this pretty high in my pickled egg power ranking.
Yeah, it's the best pickled egg I had.
That's a nice bar. I like their cocktails. I like everything about that place, the Beard and Belly place. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're here to talk about the beer.
That's right.
And yeah, their beer lineup is great. But then Sketchbook had their Oktoberfest. I picked up some of their. They had 2 different hop waters going.
Okay.
So I grabbed both of those. I think I had like an IPA too, I had the Kolsch.
The Kolsch.
Kolsch was good. No, the cream ale. Sorry.
Cream ale. Pinky sweater.
No, it was a different name. It was
Okay.
I don't know. I forget what it is. Sean Curry will remind us what I want to say. It was like no name or something.
Are they? They're all decked out for Oktoberfest because everyone is not.
Not fully. They did have some nice glasses, very similar to the Metro ones.
Like,
they have a red and blue versions of them. I was very tempted to get them, and I was like, I don't need more Steins.
Did they have the beetle on theirs?
No, it had their little stubby Oktoberfest guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can't picture it.
He's on the cans.
Okay.
The cans. But I did almost buy the Drink Illinois beer glasses for the podcast.
I kind of like those. It's like some good kind of, I don't know, classic Frank Lloyd Wright or maybe like Louis Sullivan inspired kind of font on there. I like that.
Yeah, I decided not to. I was just like,
Because you got
I got a lot of glasses.
got a lot of glasses.
I'd have to make a choice. What glass would leave the collection? And I was just not. I was like, I don't know. I can't commit like that. So I just
Fair.
left with more beer and less glasses.
I had an apartment maybe 5 years ago where I had so many taster glasses and just glasses in general. I just left them all. And he called me back. He's like, dude, you got to get these glasses the fuck up out of here. I'm talking like the entire kitchen cabinet.
He's like, you left the entire cabinet. Get this shit.
You can't leave all these glasses. Yeah. So I hear you. The glasses get out of hand quick.
Right.
Yeah.
So I passed on those. But they're nice glasses. And Sketchbook has a huge, for being such a small place, has a lot of different merch around with all the glasses and the beer. And there's a lot of stuff happening at the counter because there's tamales now. I don't know. Just if they didn't have that extra room, that place would be like a dorm room where just everything gets put in there, and you're like, there's no room to live here.
I don't think it's much. The original space is much bigger than the level that we record on here.
Right.
And it's kind of narrow and just goes
it's
long.
way smaller. It might be the size of this room we're in.
Yeah. So.
It's like a 1-bedroom. It's like a studio, smaller than a studio.
Somewhere between those two, I'd say. It's not very big. So lucky for them, they bought the other storefront, and now they got some good. They got a decent amount of space. I left. It's funny you say that because I did leave Sketchbook once with like a 50s inspired like ice cream shop V-neck tee, like very deep V-neck. Like I don't even wear it that much, but I love the colors. Red Sketchbook across it, like navy blue or powder blue.
Yeah, I was like, do I need a hat too? I was like, no, I gotta leave. I gotta get out of here. I'm buying drinks. I don't need merch too.
We drink a lot of Sketchbook. I think if we're talking, and we said this before, if we're talking underrated breweries, I think Hopewell and Sketchbook are at the top, if not the top 2, where they deliver all the time, and we drink them a lot. And, and it seems to always be good, So
when I was on the burger 2-stop or burger then beer, I almost did double clutch, but because it's at the other side of Evanston, I like that Sketchbook's on the Chicago side of Evanston. I don't know a way to describe it, but it's like
Evanston's like deceptively wide.
Yeah.
So even if you're at the original Sketchbook in Evanston and you go to like Temperance, I feel like you're doing 2.5 miles.
Yeah.
Going straight west. You're damn near pushing like Niles-ish. Mm-hmm. It all seems far. So I get exactly what you're saying.
Right, but I was trying to look it up. Did the Rogers Park Brewery close?
No, it's on Howard.
It's on Howard. What's the name of it?
Howard Street Brewing.
Howard Street Brewing.
So if you're at, I think it's Clark and Howard. Well, basically where the Howard Red Line is.
Okay.
It's like right there.
I thought about doing that.
Yeah.
Then I was like, well, haven't been to the Evanston Sketchbook in a while, and Nick goes to Howard Street.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times. Yeah. It's a cool spot. It's tiny. Talk about tiny breweries. Yeah, I think that's the tiniest.
All right, and then I thought there was a brewery over in that Loyola area, but I guess there's not. I'm surprised there's not.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for. It's there for the taking. We say it all the time. Whether it's breakfast joints or just restaurants in general or breweries, the very northeastern tip of the city. It's because from Rogers Park, right? Where we're based a lot. The two closest breweries are the Howard Street Brewery, but then if you're in the city proper, you got to go 3.5 miles south to Spiteful Half Acre.
Okay.
Right. So think about that. Like that's damn near 4 miles. The top, that 4 mile block in the north edge of the city is doesn't have a lot of breweries.
That is nuts when you think there's nothing in Ravenswood.
Right. Once you get past Ravenswood, there's nothing in Edgewater, and there's only one in Rogers Park. This is like fucking 5 square miles. Yeah. So it's kind of weird.
I guess you got that. But there's that record shop that you would always pop into, but that's just a record shop that would have drink nights, right?
Right. Man, that's a good one. The some kind of electric jungle.
Okay.
Man, that place was nice. I think they moved.
Oh.
I think they were from Logan. They came up, and then they moved back to Logan. Man, that place was good. They would do block parties. Yeah, so they bring in the Handsome Bastard barbershop and the fucking Allstate, and they just shut down the block, and Illuminated would come bring the beer.
Okay.
And it was a groove, man. That was about the coolest thing I've done in Rogers Park was that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I do. Being up there, I'm not up there very often, or in that northeast tip of Chicago. It's there's something missing here. That's it needs a brewery.
Yeah.
There's good coffee shops over there. They're missing that thing.
I would say you're more than halfway there, but you're for sure not complete.
Yeah.
There's room for more. There's room for more cool stuff.
Right.
I agree.
Especially with the college right there.
The college right there, in the summertime, the fucking lake's right there. It's like, well, what are we doing? Let's go. If this were University of Chicago, Jolly Pumpkin would have moved in. Right? But Jolly Pumpkin, the chancellor, the guy who owns Jolly Pumpkin went to University of Chicago.
Oh, that makes sense.
And the campus said, hey, I need a pizzeria and I need a brewery. And he filled both. They interviewed other people, but they ended up with him because he had roots at the school. So that's driving it too. I think once Loyola or Evanston puts their foot down and says we need a brewery, God damn it, then I think you'll.
Well, Evanston has 4 breweries.
Oh, that's right, they got 4. So really, we're looking at you, Loyola.
Yeah.
Demand a fucking brewery.
Or Howard Street, you gotta step it up.
Or just go big.
Just go big.
Yeah, or that.
Pull a Smiley. And, just the beginnings of Smiley.
Make sure it sticks, though.
Yeah.
So Smiley went big. Smiley went big the way Krispy Kreme went big. They went big, and then they were done.
Backfired, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was my only stop this past week. I feel like I did something else, but I guess not.
Pictures.
Yeah.
You remember taking pictures?
I didn't take pictures of anything else.
No.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
I think it was a bunch of work. I was working.
Shout out to Sketchbook, though, man. I love your stuff, man.
And Sean Curry hasn't messaged us in a while, and it may be because the podcast wasn't popping up in the feeds.
Oh, it depends on where you go, right? Some people watch the YouTube feed, which I never watch, but it's a thing.
Right.
And then I'm usually on the whatever the iTunes app is.
And so Nick mentioned that this wasn't coming up the past few weeks, so that's been fixed now. It's back on iTunes and Spotify. There was something messed up with the link to the audio file. So.
Yeah, because I do like to listen. I like listening, and I wonder if other people like it too. I do mine on 1.5.
I watch a lot of YouTube videos at 1.5.
Yeah, I don't go straight to or twice the speed. You get that chipmunk soul kind of thing. I don't like
YouTube
that.
has 1.25.
1.25 sounds nice.
Not bad for some people where you're like, there's a lot of information here.
Right. You can speed it up to 1.5. I think we sound good on 1.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Especially when you're drinking and taking breaks. Fill that time. So anyway, that's all fixed. So Sean Curry, you can now listen and message me corrections.
That was a fun. Next time we go on site, we should ask Sean if he's available because Pilot Project episode was fun.
Yeah.
When he was there, I think he just happened to be there. I don't know why he was there, but
He knew we were doing it. And
yeah, I mean it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I liked him. I like seeing him there. So.
But that was my stop. What about you?
Man, Shout out to Downers Grove. I just found myself at Goldfinger. I think, what do? We fucking, whether it's art history or Dovetail or Metro, right? A lot of people are putting emphasis on lager styles. So I just felt the need to, I don't know why, I just felt the need to go hang out at Goldfinger.
Okay. Do they have an Oktoberfest?
It's not out yet.
What?
Yeah, it was kind of that was kind of a bummer.
That's weird because it is, for being a lager brewery, having those roots in beer, Bavarian beer and everything, and then not have it out for actual Oktoberfest?
Actual Oktoberfest, yeah. No, theirs is coming in a few weeks. I thought the same. I just knew for sure what happened, but it didn't. They do have a patio, and they have the outdoor Oktoberfest style tent. Just white tent with the domes, kind of the peaks.
Oh.
And so I just
Isn't
sat
that
out
what
there.
they always have? Or is that just...
No,
They had a tent.
they always
Last-
they have a tent.
They have a different tent. They have a seasonal tent.
This tent looks seasonal. Yes,
It's like decorate. Like we have different home decorations for
Yes.
where people have that. And they have different tents. Okay.
it's a good looking tent. They got the Adirondack. Am I saying that right?
Adirondack.
Adirondack. See, and it's
Yeah,
tough, right?
Yeah, I forgot to say it.
Yeah, the big lounge chairs. I had 5 of them, and they all broke because they were a cheap version. These were the real ones, the
Yeah,
heavy
I got
ones,
a couple out there.
like the ones Brad has,
Yeah.
the nice ones. So I'm hanging out at fucking.
Hard to sit in.
They are. You lean. It's a lean. Don't expect to do much because you're kind of in a. It's a semi recline, so some people might be put off by it because it's not a full recline. It's a semi. You can't do much, and it's kind of awkward to hold your beer in.
Mine has cup holders.
See, these do not have cup holders. So
That's a commitment of a seat. Like it's like you're sitting here for a while.
if I see a suggestion box at Goldfinger next time I go, I think I'm gonna say something.
Add cup holders.
Love your spot. Add cup holders to your Adirondack chairs. So yeah, I'm at a Goldfinger Brewing Company, man. The old Marcus Goldfinger Brewing.
Okay. What'd you get?
What did I get?
Would you have got the Oktoberfest?
Oh, for sure. For sure. They only had 4 beers. It's a tight lineup. I think it was a Pils, a Mexican, some kind of smoked beer, and like a Vienna, right?
Okay.
And that's all they got. And I was like, well, shit, I guess I'll get the, I think I started with the smoked beer. Yeah, it's like smoked wheat. Because, I was at a Sound Growler, and I had theirs Grodzki
Yeah. Okay.
3.4 wheat lager. And, man, I'm just so into that style, man. I think this was more like 5%. And it wasn't dark at all in color. But just kind of just this delicate smokiness just kind of wafts over. You know what I mean? It's just like an ever-present, nice, thin layer of smokiness.
Yeah, okay.
It's just super fun. Their top-selling beer is the Pils. So I had the Pils, the Mexican lager, which are nice. It's just kind of like a, what you wish Corona was. If Corona had a brewery and they only made Corona for draft only at that location, I imagine it would taste like this, right? Without the whatever they're doing when they put it in a bottle. It was nice. I had a good time,
All right. And then you went to a fest?
Yeah, so I'm with my buddy out at fucking Goldfinger, and it just comes up like, hey, the Orland Park Brew Fest is today. And I'm like, okay. So I look it up, and it's got like, this is very much like old school 2010 font of what a beer fest would be, your classic kind of beer fest. So I'm like, well, if we're going, let's go. They had an extra ticket, so I'm like, let's go.
Were they not going to go? They were just like hanging out with you?
They were going, and they had an extra ticket, and I was like, well, going to Orland Park wasn't on my bingo card today. But I mean, I'm boozing and I'm already out, and I'm already south.
And you have a ticket.
So fuck it, let's go.
Okay.
So you go to Orland Park, and it's at the Orland Park is like super southwest. It's right next to Tinley. It's the town I think west of Tinley, and it's in the Public Works building for the village.
Okay.
So if you go out on the patio of this joint, you see like salt trucks and all kind of all kind of public works shit. It's kind of funny. So they clear all that stuff out, put a bunch of tables up, and they're doing a beer fest. There's a band, and I was telling Brad, it was kind of weird because it was like a throwback to what Beer Fest used to be, right? Where like they give you a pint glass as your tasting glass, and they didn't even give it to you, and you had to keep it till the end, and they gave it to you because it was a commemorative glass. So each station had these little tiny plastic cups, almost like I would say like a plastic shot glass,
Like a Dixie. Oh, okay.
like super tiny, maybe like an ounce and a half, maybe probably 2 ounces.
So it's like mostly foam you're getting.
It's weird, but no one had draft, so they're just pouring out of cans or bottles. Yeah.
What?
So it was weird. Everyone, all the attendees that were pouring beer, nobody poured from a draft.
Was anyone actually from a brewery?
It seemed like all volunteers, except for, and they were the coolest ones, except for Eris, because they had on an Eris t-shirt.
That just feels like a fest you could just be like, I'm going to Costco, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of beer and charge people tickets, and we'll just pour from these cans.
If this event were at Costco, I don't think it would have looked a whole lot
No,
different.
but you were going to have a beer fest.
Oh,
You
like
go-
and
and-
like me.
And you go to Costco and be like, load up the pickup truck with as much beer as you can have, and we'll just pour out the cans in little Dixie cups, and people get pissed, and they'll get out of here before they get drunk.
I was so out on these little, fancy cup gang, fancy cup. Like, look, we're drinking out of these mugs today. You know how much joy this brings me? It's the simple things. So I get to this fucking party and we got these little plastic cups and I'm just losing my shit. So then I just started drinking. But there was a saving grace. There was tequila and there was bourbon.
Okay.
So there's a bar in Oak Forest, Illinois called the Exclusive Pour. Shout out to them. They were rolling nonstop Evan Williams 1783 and Buffalo Trace.
In normal little cups?
In the little cups, little 2 ounces of that.
Oh, okay.
And then there was a tequila. There was a tequila from Sammy Hagar and you were talking Flavortown and Guy Fieri.
What?
Guy Fieri.
It all comes together.
Guy Fieri and Sammy Hagar have a tequila, and somebody was pouring that, the Reposado and the Blanco. So so we made it work.
This is like a sidebar, but I feel like this like celebrity tequila game
Yeah.
is going to like destroy this tequila
Oh, dude, it's out of control already.
right? Like every celebrity now has a tequila brand that they've slapped their name on. It's
Michael
like
Jordan has a tequila. I think Kendall Jenner has a tequila.
it's like it makes me care. My tequila level of caring was a little bit, and then to hear about all these celebrity tequilas makes me be like, oh, no thank you.
It's Santos tequila. Very generic. It looks like Ed Hardy or some shit. Or right? Like, it's what you expect. The Blanco, not that great. Reposado. The darker one, golden one, not bad.
Okay.
So I spent a lot of my night going to the water stations in the corners and grabbing a full-size plastic cup. I will have 1 part tequila, and I will have 2 parts strawberry barbarella from Eris. So it was their strawberry rhubarb cider. So 2 parts cider, 1 part tequila. And then when the tequila ran out, just did the same thing with bourbon. Just cider, just basically cider and bourbon cocktails all night for me. Yeah.
So you're feeling pretty good then.
It was great. I mean, that part, if it wasn't for that, this was just all the stuff you could buy in the store.
Okay.
So, which I'm kind of surprised by, right? So, here's the thing. Like, Tinley Park is beer country. Like, on the expressway, it says, welcome to beer country. They got 4 breweries. Now, the town next to Tinley Park, Orland Park, has no fucking idea what's going on with beer, it seems like. This is very bizarre.
There's not an Orland Park Brewing. I'm thinking there's an Oak Park Brewing. Right?
Oak Park, yeah. If we look on the map, I bet you something like Banging Gavel or somebody. I'm pretty sure somebody's in Orland.
Where's the book?
Oh, where's the Beer Mistress book?
Man.
But I feel like it was cool because there were spirits options, but everyone you could tell the village, there's a bunch of police out front, and you could tell the village was very adamant that people punch their ticket. So, you get your little lanyard, and your lanyard is a wheel, and then the wheel has 20 stamps, and everyone's stamping. So you can kind of tell they're running a tight ship. Yeah. But you could tell this was run by people who don't really drink beer. This was a very dated. It was almost like a throwback beer fest. It's like, I felt like the very 2009, 2010 beer fest.
Oh, that. But these plastic cup things, like that feels like a new post-COVID. Like we don't want to fill up your glass because you're touching it and blah blah blah.
I guess you're right. Yeah, and I guess I'm referring to the pint. First of all, the pint glass as your taster, and then the fact that everyone just brought their baseline stuff.
Right.
So I mean, I guess a throwback in that sense. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what people. We go to fest. This is I think the last one I went to was Oak Park. You went to this one.
Yeah.
I don't like. There's so many new people in the beer, so just letting people know you exist might be good enough. You don't need to come out blazing for the people that are like, I only drink microphone. Why didn't you bring your big guns here? Like, because everyone here doesn't know who we are. We're not gonna waste our time giving them the good stuff.
It wouldn't make sense. I think you're right. Yeah. Shout out to let's see, Maplewood, Brickstone, Crystal Lake.
Brickstone.
Brickstone was there.
How?
Brickstone exists.
No, but they don't.
Did Brickstone close?
They're selling.
Are they selling? I don't know. I feel like now that you're saying it, I think you may.
Yeah, this is the one. This is the.
But they're only selling the restaurant, and they're keeping the production, right?
I thought they're selling.
Oh, they're selling production and keeping the restaurant?
No, they were selling it all. There was an option to buy it all.
Brickstone was for sure at this
So
joint.
they're still there, but I thought they were selling it.
Yeah. Who
Unless
else?
someone bought them and just kept it going because they were selling. There was the thing that was up for sale where they were selling everything, recipes, all the equipment,
their IP.
the IP.
I think you're right. I remember this now.
Did someone come in?
I forgot. Oh shit.
Kings and Convict. Try again.
A side note: the King and Convicts guys. We were up there the week they bought Ballast Point, and they look the way you think they look. It look like they just hang out and golf all day. But they said you'd be surprised how many people called us and told us we were for sale.
Right.
Like some breweries. Yeah.
That's because I saw on Facebook recently someone was like, "Oh, I went to Kings and Convict, and they only had Ballast Point beer," and people were like, "Yeah, they kind of fucked up."
Yeah.
So they have all this beer that they need to get rid of.
Were you going to get King's bitch? Who was buying? Somebody was buying it, so I'm not knocking them. But who was buying Kings and Convicts beer?
I don't know. Someone mentioned like, "Oh, I liked their beer previously, but yeah, it's just Ballast Point now." So they're like a little disappointed. But I think you're disappointed that a local brewery went away versus like they were making great beer.
Right. Yeah. There was one new brewery that I didn't know about. It was called Route 66 Brewing down in Wilmington, Illinois. I asked them where that was. They said it was just past Kankakee and Bourbonnais and all that stuff. So not quite normal or distilled, but just past Kankakee.
Okay.
And I tried their stuff. They had like a mango is our middle name. They had the source of mango Berliner Weiss. But other than that, everyone else on this list you kind of know about, and they all just kind of brought whatever they were pouring. Oh, shout out to Will Turner's crew, Hailstorm. They had a key lime cheesecake inspired pastry sour.
No.
8.5%.
Like even made it sound worse. It was good though.
Just a bit off pace for me.
Then why the shout out?
Oh, because it was a cool can. It was a cool can.
All the words for that beer, and then if it was like 4%,
Why is this beer 8.5%?
right?
Yeah. I think it was just off. They just missed the mark on this one. Yeah.
Key lime pie sour.
Yeah. Key lime cheesecake sour. I had to take a photo because I didn't believe what I was looking at. And yeah, it's called forklift training. Yeah, key lime cheesecake inspired sour.
That feels like a beer you make. Like, how can we shut our brewery down? Let's make a whole bunch of this and be stuck with it.
It was too big.
We could make more of that Oktoberfest.
Why the fuck y'all got a 9% cheesecake sour beer?
Need a write-off. Be like, this didn't sell. We'll just dump this out.
I think there's a chess move at play here. There's a chess move at play here. But yeah, so Orland Park, man. I ended up there.
Okay, nice. Cool. Coming up, we got Guinness opening.
Yeah, Brad pinged in the middle of the day and said, "Hey, I got my Guinness gear." And I'm like, well, where's my Guinness gear? And then I opened my app and I'm got some Guinness gear coming too, man.
It's like kick-ass jean jacket that we ordered, or I don't know if we ordered this. We signed up for this.
It was
at the event.
Fucking March, right?
At March, because it was a St. Patrick's Day party. It was a little bit, when we signed up for this, it was a little bit of a, don't tell anyone you're signing up for this kind of feeling. Like, they're like,
oh, yeah,
what's
you're
the
right.
lady with the iPad doing? And she's like, well, she's showing you the Guinness merch. And then people are like, no, she's taking your name for jackets. So it was she's not telling anybody what she was doing, but there was a mini line every now and then.
I almost feel like, and they were kind of saying, hey, can you step back? Or the line forms this way. They were almost, because she was in front of the merch doing this. And I feel like they were kind of discouraging you from like hovering over to see what was going on. It was a very hush operation.
Yeah. But it seemed like we filled this thing out in sizes and everything.
Yeah.
And someone was like, yeah, go get a jacket. Okay. 18 years later, this shows up.
Like, I blew it off. But yeah, it's super fucking nice jacket.
And just in time, because the Guinness Brewery in Chicago is opening supposedly opening on the 28th.
September 28th. It's finally happening. So it's a decommissioned railroad depot.
Yeah.
Just a spot where they kept a bunch of old railroad parts and shit. Right in West Loop, Fulton Market. Primo location. Primo.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures. It looks really nice. I'm a little unsure. It's laid out like a cafeteria or food hall kind of thing, right?
I think there's going to be a coffee vendor and a bakery
in
this joint.
Ice cream.
Ice cream, too.
And beer.
Okay.
I think there's regular food, too.
Oh, so it's a restaurant.
There has to be, like, Guinness mustard, right?
I don't know.
Pretzels. Kind of like...
Well, I mean, I don't know. I
think there's something to dip your Guinness mustard.
That's funny. I feel like it's worth a spin. I feel like I kind of want to see it at least once.
I'm just confused why our buddy didn't invite us. He sat right here.
Oh, yeah.
Told us the story.
What the fuck?
Guinness.
He could have pinged us on fucking Beer Pass IG. That's where we are all the time. He could have just been like, hey, man, heads up.
The ambassador.
You know? I don't know, man.
Leaving us out.
I mean, he's like I don't know. I wish I could expound here.
In front of the balloon. He knew we were on board with this Guinness thing.
Yeah, they had a friends and family night, and our invite once again got lost in the mail.
Apparently not friends.
I mean, that's
I know where we stand.
Once you get down to the heart of the matter, that's exactly what it is, Brad.
Not friends.
You know.
They're opening, so
good for them.
I'll get to it, but it's Oktoberfest season. I'm not gonna get to them.
There ain't no Guinness Oktoberfest.
No.
So.
I do want to hear more about what they're brewing there. See the space. I'll make it there, but it's not. I'm excited that it's opening, but it's also not like I'm going next week. It's like, oh well, cool. I'll probably make it there.
Honestly, parking kind of blows over there unless they got a parking lot. Parking is very hard over there. Cause I did a party. I did a night over there at I don't know. It's like a little modern Latin joint. I think it was Taboo actually, like a block away. Okay. And it's a pain in the ass parking over there.
Isn't that where we went for the Taboo? Was where we? Oh
no. Where did we go for the party? No, we went to City Hall. The venue.
Like right there too.
Oh, right next door to City Hall is Taboo.
Okay.
So it's a pain in the ass over there parking. Yeah. I had for the day job on the other side of the tracks, the building Convene, which is like a event space. Okay. And they charged me $40 to park in this joint.
Okay. And I'm not sure what the hours will be for Guinness yet. If it's gonna be, are they open for lunch? Is it just a nighttime spot? Is it a weekend spot? All we know is the 28th, which is technically a Thursday. I bet they start with a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
You're
Sunday
right.
thing.
There's got to be small plates because Guinness is kind of that type of beer. It's you come in and you might have a round, and you might have another round, right? It's a session. It's basically a session beer. I assume there's going to be small plates, like what fish and chips or something.
Right, but I think it's you go, like, if you're in the Ogilvy train station or any of these other places, there's like other spots. You're like, oh, I'll go to Arby's. You want to go to Panda Express, and then we'll all sit here and drink our Guinness.
Oh, and just bring your own food.
Well, there'll just be other options inside the Guinness building.
Kind of how What do you mean? Like kind of like how Clybourne is? Like Clybourne, not Clybourne, Goose Fulton closes early because they're like, hey, go explore our neighborhood. Go to other places and eat. We're closing at like 9. Are you saying that, or are you saying there's going to be actual vendors in Guinness?
Vendors inside Guinness.
Oh, okay.
And so you'll get your beer, more like a district brew yard. It's like the one up in the burbs where
Wheeling.
they have like a place where you get food. They got a place where you get beer. They have a place where you get your muffins. A place where you'll get your coffee.
I have a blueberry scone, please.
Yeah. And a Guinness.
And a Guinness and
Like, oh, you gotta go over there and get your Guinness. We don't have Guinness. We're the bakery. You walk, 2 doors.
it'll be like
stands over.
a food hall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
No, I didn't use the word food hall. So
I was like, oh yeah, I know what a food hall is. I'm like, what the fuck is Brad talking about?
just say food hall.
I mean, I am curious, and I'll probably end up going, but yeah.
But I figure sometime this year I'll get there. But it's not, like I said, it's not pressing that I get there.
I agree. Throwback
If I was
to
invited, I'd go.
exactly. It changes everything, right? We're not involved.
I'm not even a friend.
The night we went, they did say something that was kind of telling about just them being as a corporate entity. Real quick, they were saying how they'll have beers exclusive to the Chicago Guinness location, but if anything it trends well and people like it, when it's time to scale it up, they'll brew it in Baltimore, right, and then bring it back to Chicago.
Yeah.
Which is that still in play? I feel like the Baltimore brewery closed.
No, I did see. Was it 2 guys? What's the
Guys drinking beer?
Guys Drinking Beer posted that it closed, but then it didn't close. I don't think it closed.
Okay, so then this is still in play then. If a beer is successful, the top selling beers in Chicago, if they decide to get packaged, will go to Baltimore to be just packaged and distributed.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how that goes because you're going to Guinness to get Guinness. You're not going to Guinness to be like, let me try their hazy.
Right. Let me get this barley wine. You don't... And then, it's weird that we're saying this because the actual Guinness is not even brewed there. The Guinness, the stout's going to come from St. James Gate. It's going to come from where all the Guinness stout comes from. So we're going to this place just to say we're drinking a Guinness, essentially.
Right. You might try one of the other ones, but you're getting a Guinness.
Yeah. The blonde was an American thing, and they canned it the Guinness blonde. And it was popular in Baltimore because that's where it was made. But outside of that, I mean, but our guy who came on the show, he did bring a really cool sour from the Guinness Baltimore brewery. So, I mean, they've got 200 years of brewing experience. They might actually make some cool shit at this
I
joint.
think they'll make cool stuff, but to get people to go there, you're going there first for a Guinness.
Right, which is weird because you can go to any bar for a Guinness, but you can't drink it in this really nice backdrop.
Yeah, and that'll be the telling sign if it is worth it to get it there or to go to O'Shaughnessy's and get the Guinness. And then you can be like, well, I have my Guinness. Give me my daisy cutter now.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Are they going to have guests, I wonder?
Yeah.
That was the...
Downfall of Ballast Point.
I agree. You got 65, you got 100 fucking taps, and it's all Ballast Point? You're in West Loop, man. You're in the #1 district for food in this town, and you got 100 goddamn Ballast Point taps, and that's it? No guest?
So you hope Guinness at least is like, okay, we need a local cider. Maybe we shouldn't have our cider. maybe we should have someone else's. We don't do a hazy. Let's
Yeah.
make sure we have a different hazy here.
I think this is actually a good point because our guy, when he came on the show, our Guinness fella, super cool guy. We asked him what whiskeys pair with Guinness, and then he gave us a name of some whiskey that Guinness owns, Diageo owns, because Guinness owns Diageo. Oh, so that's fine. If you can only sell your whiskey, Irish whiskey, that's fine. But with these fucking guest drafts, hyper local, don't fuck around.
Right.
I think that's important. Yeah.
Because you want, if you had Beezer on,
Oh.
like, Old Irvin's gonna be like super excited and go to the Guinness place. It's amazing, and have a Beezer.
It feels like even if the Kumbaya days in craft are gone, it would feel like Guinness is part of the local scene.
Right.
Yeah.
If they don't do that, then they're just they might as well be a let us entertain you restaurant.
Exactly, because Lagunitas doesn't do that. There ain't no guests at Lagunitas.
And
when the last time you been to fucking Lagunitas? And you barely consider them Chicago brewery.
yeah, I forget about them until people mention. Like I see someone drinking, like, oh yeah, I think I haven't been to the spot. I'm like, oh well, it's nice.
Yeah.
You should go once.
It's super big and it's got one tiny ass TV.
But is that what Guinness is gonna be like? Were you like, it's nice, you should check it out, but do you want to drink more Guinness?
Yeah, you bring up a good point, man. I think if you want to what's the word? If you want to be a place where it's one and done and a tourist attraction, and they're just like, hey, let's just have another outlet to give our partners less Guinness, the O'Shaughnessy's of the world, give them less Guinness and sell it more at our place. You can do that and survive, I guess, and just be a tourist attraction. But if you want to be a proper Chicago brewery, right, and have some real Chicago friends and make it like an actual Chicago thing, much in the way that Goose does, that's what I give people talk shit about Goose. Man, Goose is brewing beer with Old Irving and fucking Alarmist, right? And they're like they got really small local crews in there, and
Right.
it feels like they're going out of their way to just be local.
And they work with the community, or but the other brewers be like, oh yeah, we have a lab. You don't have a lab. Like we can test this. Or
I drank a fucking Sketchbook beer at Phase 3 beer at Goose Island.
yeah,
I'd like, since you're the big boys in town, I'd like for you guys to do some shit like that. Because I know the people that work at Guinness that are locally based ain't just drinking Guinness. Yeah. And they've said as much. So.
right. Because even Metropolitan, they may not have other beers on, but they have Ripe cider on a lot of the time. They have Metropolis coffee on. I don't even know what coffee Guinness is going to have over there.
Right.
So you would hope it's a local coffee and not Stumped. It's probably going to be Stumptown.
Fuck.
But I don't know. It could be Metropolis. It
That's
could
true.
be Star Lounge.
Now we got to go and kind of monitor.
We're kind of making guesses without us knowing what.
Because we're not involved.
Because we know they're gonna have local ice. I know they're gonna have local ice cream there, a local ice cream. So I think they do want to work with the community.
Okay. We'll see.
Give them the benefit of the doubt till we go there and be like, they have Wonder Bread, and
It's fucking the Navy Pier of breweries. This place fucking blows, right?
and they have Rick Bayless salsa. I can go down the street and get Rick Bayless salsa. I don't know why I have salsa at the Guinness Brewery.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough Guinness talk. This episode will be out after Nick and I hit up a big Oktoberfest this weekend. Metro, Ravinia, and Maplewood.
Yeah.
We went too hard last year. We're scaling back this year and keeping it in a triangle.
Or something.
Keeping it in a triangle.
All right.
Yeah, we're keeping it a triangle. The only other addition you could add to this was the Lux Carnival over at Illuminated is happening earlier in the day. And if you wanted to start at Burning Bush,
They're doing something?
because then you're just on the bike path down to Metropolis. Or Metropolitan, sorry.
Okay. All right. Old Irving's partying this weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, they're doing their 7-year in Oktoberfest.
Uh-oh.
It's basically the last weekend of summer, man. So
If you don't see us next week, we died.
last time got a little weird. It got a little weird. It was so
But
fun, though.
this is the way to go
It
out.
was so fun.
You know, we were talking pre-show, and if we do survive in this episode, we're planning to go to Temperance 10-year party, and this is 10 years of Chicago Beer Pass.
Fuck you. Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we are as old as Temperance.
Oh my god.
They've made a lot more money than we have. But this is the way to go out if we don't make it.
I think you're right, man. I think you're right, man. Holy shit. Yeah. And you don't think about it. It's kind of second nature. We do it every week.
Yeah.
You know? Man.
So we've been going as long as Temperance has.
Yeah. It's fun, man. It challenges you to kind of stay on it, right? And go to different stuff. And we get to hang out. We get to drink and fuck around and talk about it. We have a ton of guests.
Yep.
It's been cool, man.
We sometimes are friends, sometimes not with brewers. Apparently. But yeah, that's our plan. The podcast feed is fixed. Hopefully you all enjoyed the Goose Island showdown we did with Revolution.
Oh, yeah. We did, what was it? The Old Fitz, Bourbon County, VSOR, Straight Jacket. Man, that Goose Island Old Fitz is so good.
Yeah, and we're right on the cusp of them, releasing the next lineup. As far as we know, we're still friends with them, so we may get invited to that. But we could be on the outs.
We shall see, man.
We might have talked to the Guinness people and be like, yeah, we gotta cut them.
They'll be like, send them a jacket. Put their send them an embroidered jacket with their initials. Monogram.
But that's going to do it for this episode. Look for us, hopefully at Temperance, at Goose, Metro, Ravinia, Maplewood, Lux Carnival, apparently now Old Irvine, and Blazin'. No, what's... Burning.
Oh, Burning Bush.
I was like Blazing Saddle.
I don't know. What the fuck's Brad talking about, man?
Don't do it. Take care.
Cheers.